Hey everyone, this is Roy. Appreciate y'all joining me. I am excited to show you a preview of my upcoming game called SpecFreq. When I was younger, I played this game called Infantry Online, and I spent a lot of time. I loved it. It was an online kind of top-down shooter. You had like 30, 40 people. I forget the exact number per zone. There was Capture the Flag. There was like Warzone Alpha, which is one of my favorite zones, which is just like a no hold bar, just kind of all-out war. It was a lot of fun. And so I wanted to do a modern take on that game using the Godot engine, which is the same engine I used for my last game, Astrominer. So let's just jump right on in. The first screen that you're seeing here is the client. You'll create an account at SpecFreq.com. I'll log out so you can see. Right now the game's in closed beta, so I'm not accepting any new accounts. Once you log in, you'll have a list of all the available zones. Right now, my zones are hosted on Amazon's cloud services. They have something called Whitesail, which is meant for game servers. So I have the chat server and the game server hosted on there, which is pretty awesome. So you can click details, get kind of server information, and you click launch. When you click launch, it's going to make sure you have the latest files, and it's going to launch your game. So I actually already launched it, so I'm just going to transition to the game. So for those of you that played infantry before, this will probably look pretty familiar to you. When we first jumped in, I'm just going to pick my class. Um, you can change your class here. I don't have a lot of classes. It's just a prototype game so far. But right now we're going to stick with infantry. When you select infantry, you can pick your weapons. But yeah, for those that have played before, this will look super familiar. You have your map view here, and we'll kind of jump down to this in a minute here. When you start off, you're in spectate mode, which means you can move around the map and kind of check out everything that's going on. If there were other players, you'd see them on here. I've done a multiplayer test already. I've gotten about 3 other players. It's been pretty awesome, and so yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting more people on this game once it's ready. On the bottom here is your chat window. Um, you have your regular chat, you have your team chat, you have private messages. Speaking of teams, here they are on the right hand side. You guys will probably notice I did change things up a little bit. From the previous infantry, I kind of put your health and your stamina up top. The player list is still here. I have custom teams on here so you can pick a password or make a public custom team. Here's your inventory. And so I'm going to jump out of spec and jump into the game itself. I have some awesome 3D designers that have been working and making some great graphics for me. You can see kind of new world here, the new building. I have some interior objects being made for me. This is actual 2D, 3D. It's not 2D. You can see I can go up and under and below things. So let's get out of here and walk around the world. Uh, Obviously, the players can shoot. Nothing too crazy there. Again, the game is multiplayer, so if someone else was on, we'd be playing together. I got loot boxes that I'm working on here, so that way, as soon as this guy should open up. There you go, he opened up, you can't see it. I have objects that you can walk through, so like this little dude goes transparent. Some of the assets, like these trees and some of the terrain you see before, I actually bought off of itch.io, which is awesome. As you can see, the player can move around. Let's jump into this tank. So this was one of my favorite objects that I had made for me and retextured. Just a classic tank. The projectile is still a test projectile. Um, just kind of shoots a giant red box right now, but I'm working on a new update for that. Because it's keeping it 3D, the game gives me a lot of awesome options when it comes to building things and putting detail in. Let's go drive around up top here. So I needed a mod vehicle, something that moves a little bit faster. I'm gonna jump into this little guy right here. This is my little mod vehicle for driving around faster. This guy can drift, and so my goal was to make it so game designers or zone editors don't have to do a lot of coding. I'm going to show you the editor here in a little bit, so you can see that the same class that drives like this vehicle actually drives a tank, and all the zone editors have to do is just change the parameters. So like this little vehicle right here, I downloaded that from itch.io and threw it right into the game, updated just a few little parameters, just kind of setting the speed. I set it so that it can drift, and yeah, it just jumped on in. Another awesome thing about using Godot as the engine is I can take advantage of all of Godot's lighting. So that means we can have day-night cycles, which I don't think the previous infantry had, and if it did, I apologize. It's been a long time since I played. You can have custom lights, so the on top of these buildings here, these red lights are actually lights and not like simulated 2D graphics, which is pretty cool. And yeah, there's a second tank in the game. Let's switch to this guy real quick. Again, this is a pretty early, I mean, barely even an alpha build, honestly. When I first started the game, I wanted to kind of just see if the concept would work. And that I wanted Godot to be the editor for the zones. And again, I'll show you that what that looks like here in a few minutes. Um, and I wanted it so that way players could truly just, or zone editors could just drag and drop things down. They didn't have to do any coding if they don't want to. And I think that's kind of what I've gotten and what I've proven out here. I'm just kind of driving up into this random area here. I don't have a huge map yet. So I just started getting all these 3D assets built just a week ago. Everything was just like giant blocks. That's the best that I could do. Let's just drive around back down here, and I'm going to jump into the editor here in a second. The reason I want to drive around is I want you to kind of see the world, because when we jump into the editor here, you're going to see what it looks like, and I'll actually be able to relaunch the game with some updates. So you can kind of see like how quickly it is to make these changes. So let's jump out of here. We'll park this little tank here. You will notice also from the controls that it is mouse controls, and so the turret and the tank itself are going to go wherever the mouse cursor is pointed. You can go forward, you can go backwards, and then if I get out of the tank, right click on the player, same thing. Obviously go forward, backwards, strafe, left and right. And then for those of you that do like keyboard controls, now I'm using my keyboard for everything. But I've gotten really used to the mouse controls, so I'll probably stick around with that for a while. I'm just going to park this tank here for a sec. Um, Again, because it's 3D, I got a couple, things that you can go inside of. It'll turn transparent when you get close. Same with like the terrain. When you get behind these trees, you see they start to turn transparent. I think that opens up a lot of opportunities for hiding and setting up ambushes. And then obviously things like line of sight will be pretty cool. So that's kind of where the game's at right now. Let's jump to the editor so you can see what I was talking about before. I'm going to go just transition to that. So this is the Godot editor. For those of you that don't know, Godot is this awesome open source game engine supported by the community. I've used it a whole bunch for Astrominer that was released, and I knew I wanted to use it for this game. And so this is the main view for the zone. It looks really complicated, but here's the basic gist. When you create your zone, you'll have these different areas here. We're just going to go into this node area right here. You can see this is the area that we were walking around in, right? Notice that there's no tanks. So you do a little bit of coding, but it's really simple. That's where you're going to tell the server and the zone that you want a tank placed here. You see that blue box right there? I want a tank placed here. And then I had a mod vehicle just at 0, 0, so I don't need a new box for it. But that's really all the coding is. You're just telling it where you want the vehicles. And then when it comes to drawing out your world, you're just dragging and dropping. So let's put something down. Let's change some stuff up here. Let's go down to like the southern area here. And on the left-hand side here, you can see all the different assets that I have so far. So you can drop roads down. I've been building these and I'm adding more over time. All kinds of floors. And so if I want to just put this guy right here, let's zoom in. Random floor. Honestly, don't even know what that one is. Let's see what this floor is. There's a whole bunch of different props, and so we can put up a barrier. I'm just going to throw random stuff in here. Ooh, a bench. Let's see you put this bench on, you want to rotate it, right? You click on it, you rotate it, and put it right there. All these come pre-made with collision as well. Put a cool little control panel. Let's rotate this control panel too. Actually, I don't want that to be under the bench. So when you put stuff up and down, when you put stuff on the map, there's a little hierarchy to it. You generally don't want them to be on top of each other. So let's see, what is this? Oh, it's not even pointed the right way. Yeah, there you go. A little bit more, buddy. There you go. I'm gonna keep this thing selected. Let's put a couple fuel tanks down. These things are good to act as barriers. Oh wait, there's a tank that's gonna be there. I do not want to put this here because when the server restarts, it's gonna put the tank there. Let's delete this guy here. Let's go to this barrier. Put that there. We're gonna keep that bench there because people need to sit, right? Let's keep moving stuff in here. So you saw the crate before. That was the thing that opened and closed. The containers, the dude that you could walk through right there. You can rotate. So I think this one was up and down. But you're not forced to kind of keep them up and down. You can actually take them and put them at whatever angle. you want. So I'll make that one like that. No, it keeps kind of scrolling down on me because I have a lot of objects here. And then I have some other things like giant pillar. So eventually I'm going to have the player be able to put sandbags down. We just had this model made. I have this awesome dude, Cameron, on Fiverr that's been making me models. And then I have some other stuff that isn't totally in the game yet. I think I have it on here though. Yeah, so I'm working on big walls. This doesn't quite match the graphics yet. So, but let's say you want to add like a little container corner, right? You're gonna rotate this to. So you can do it like that, or you can do it like this. And you probably want to take this guy and rotate it also. Oh shoot, I messed up my map here. Go to transform, 180. There you go. You can do a top-down view so you can see that, yep, they're lined up. So I'm just using my mouse here. I feel like I messed up my view. I don't know what I did. It's all good. Here's another like called fake door. We'll rotate this guy. So eventually this guy is actually going to have, I have the designer working on it now. The middle is going to be totally cut out. So you'll be able to actually drive vehicles through it. And it's going to be a little bit wider, about a little bit more wider than kind of the lane here. Let's look at other objects I have. So you saw the vehicles before. So you don't actually place vehicles down in the zone. The vehicles, you have to go through code to do it. Because that way you want the server to be able to control the vehicles. And then lastly, let's put some landscape down. So you see all the landscape here. I have my stuff organized into nodes, so I'm going to keep those landscapes there. I'll put a mountain there. I think I have some canyons. Yeah, that looks cool. Let's rotate him. All right, I think that's good enough. Kind of proves the point. Last thing I want to show before we jump into the zone that we just kind of drag and dropped into is vehicles. And so I have a couple of vehicles in the game right now. I talked about the tank, right? The tank is pretty straightforward. Oop, there he is. You upload your model. You attach this object that I have called control vehicle. And it gives you all these parameters. And so the cool thing about this is if the tank had wheels that turned, you just assign them to this, right? If the tank had wheels that rotated, you would just assign them to this. If you had brake lights, you would just assign them to this. You don't have to do the code. All this will be built in. Then all the synchronization will also be completely built in. So, cool thing about Godot is as you edit, it actually, I'm pretty sure it updates the scene in real time. And so I could hit stop and I could hit reload, but we actually don't have to because we just drag and drop stuff into it. So I'm just going to transition back to the game itself. Jump into it here. And sure enough, here's all the stuff that we dropped down, right? Here's that little mountain. Here's the other mountain. Here's these like rando buildings that I added. These will probably go transparent eventually. Sandbags. There's this little guy here. Fuel tank and all of that, right? So you saw how easy it was to create that zone. We can add more roads. Actually, let's transition back. Let's add some roads real quick. I've had this weird glitch with roads. I don't know if it's like the Y. It's like sometimes the roads will be over the human. I gotta just figure it out. But let's say we want to do this. Let's take this road that right now is. I gotta go back to this cursor select. So this is a T, and I don't want it to be a T anymore. I wonder if that updated. Oh, it did update in this. That's cool. I didn't realize that updates in real time completely as you're editing. So I'm gonna make it a. I think intersection is what I want. Yeah, sweet. There's an intersection, and then let's add a. No, no, it's on top of this guy. Move it, bro. Let's rotate him out of the way. Nope, that's don't want to edit that. You could technically have things that go up and down. I just don't yet. But I do eventually want to have water and bridges and all kinds of stuff. Let's add this road here. And then let's have this just end in a parking lot for now. These parking lot, it's nothing. It's just a gray box, right? So there's your roads. We can add some buildings. So you can build your buildings from scratch. I showed you before how you can drag doors. Here's the door from the other building that you saw. We don't want it in there. Um, let's put the door. We don't want the landscape either. We'll just put the door here. Um, so you saw these are the doors that open and close automatically. Cool thing about these doors, you can pick whether you want them to, which way you want the door to open. You can pick how fast you want the door to open and close. You can add a wall, and then you can actually, like, if you wanted to, you can scale this wall up and down. So the walls, you're not kind of bound by their size. Kind of can be as long as you want it to be. You have windows. Let's add a window. I did not want to add a window as a part of that wall. And again, because it's 3D, you can actually shoot through all the windows. So let's rotate this last dude real quick and get it connected up. I'm just going to rotate it through here because nope, there should be a window. I'm just going to keep trying. Yeah, I think that works. Let's go to top-down view, a little easier to manage. Okay. So you can add buildings like this, or you can take some of the pre-made buildings I already have. And so if you scroll up here into the artifacts, keep going all the way up, 4-door building, bam, drop that down, easy. And now let's jump back into the game. Let's transition over to that. No, I hit stop by accident. Okay, you missed me hitting stop on the client because I don't know how to press buttons. I'm starting it back up real quick. Alright, there's the game. Sweet. Let's unspectate. And let's go back down. I'm just going to walk. Running also, I just don't want to use up all my stamina. Yeah, alright, let's drive the tank the rest of the way. Oh, stuff up. And let's drive down to the area that we just built. So here's our new road. Obviously, it's laid down, pretty straightforward, right? And soon enough, should be coming up on the buildings and all the random stuff that we created. Yeah. Here's a door. Should we go in the door? Yeah. Because it's not attached to a wall, right? Normally the wall would hide the door opening. The door just kind of slides out of the way. But if we go to our pre-made building that we dropped, there it is. So anyway, this is just a quick preview. I just kind of want everyone to see what I've been working on, what I've been up to. I'm hoping to get a much bigger beta test real soon here. Still got a couple little issues I want to work out and a few more features, as well as a whole bunch more props to put inside the building and outside the place. At least kind of this shows where I'm at in the game, how the editor works and all that. So again, thank you all very much for watching. I look forward to the next video. Cheers.